everybody, welcome back to the family channel.
Hi!
We hope you guys are having a fantastically awesome day so far, and we hope you had an awesome weekend. Apologies for no upload yesterday, but the day got away from us, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
I was plastering all day, Kat was on the phone, we're trying to sort things out with the council and the electrics and stuff, but there's lights at the end of the tunnel, isn't there?
There is.
As you can see, little man is missing today. Garen isn't here. That is because he is currently playing a hockey game.
Yes.
A late one during the week. It is currently 5:20 in the evening, and he'll only get home probably around 10 o'clock. He's played Saturday, Sunday, and today, and he played last Wednesday, so it's been a hectic couple weeks, hasn't it? So he doesn't have a hockey game this weekend, so we'll be able to get a lot more work done around the house, eh?
Yeah.
And hopefully film a couple more vlogs, because it has been hectic.
And we can go probably live as well, because
Yeah.
he's not going to have to get up in the
Good
morning.
point. We'll be going live next Saturday. Anyway, today we are reacting to 10 best Old West towns in America, and that's because I love the Old West. So today's video selection is mine. I chose today's video because I'm currently listening to a book, and they keep mentioning the Old West, and I love it. I love it. And I think it was Nancy who sent me a book with all the old paintings and stuff of the Old West and everything, and it's awesome. It's an awesome book, so I'm really looking forward to this video. Before we get into today's video, if you guys haven't done so already, please make sure you hit the subscribe button, and without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's check out the 10 best Old West towns in America.
Today we're saddling up for a trip back in time to explore some of the coolest old towns that are still alive and well in the United States. A couple of weeks ago we did a video that had a few towns that are still holding on to that Old West feel. As I researched that video, I found the history of these towns very interesting, but didn't include it into that video because that really wasn't the focus of the video. So I decided to make a video that is about the history and how they're keeping those traditions alive here in 2024. These places are packed with history, from wild gunfights to legendary figures to booming mining operations and cowboy culture. If you've ever dreamed of walking the same streets as Wyatt Earp or experiencing the Wild West, these towns are for you. Got it? Get it? Good. Let's take a look. Number 10, Jerome, Arizona. Jerome, Arizona is a tiny town.
Arizona's popped up a lot lately in the few videos that we've done,
yeah.
hasn't it? Like, you know, I never really heard of it before, but it's come up quite a few times. And the more I see it,
And
I
we
quite like it.
also watched something on the telly about Arizona. I can't remember what it was. It was this week.
Yeah, there was also like, wasn't it Naked and Afraid they were in the Arizona desert?
Yeah. Was it?
It might have been. I might be wrong. I might be wrong.
No, it was that show where they go and help people to build their homesteads.
Oh, homestead.
What is it called?
Homestead.
Homestead Rescue. Yeah.
With big personality, perched precariously on the side of a mountain like a stubborn
Looks
drunk
pretty
that
cool.
refuses
I like
to
it.
leave his
reminds
favorite
me
bar
of
stool.
Croatia, but
Jerome
like
was
that.
founded in 1876
Like
as a
Arizona.
copper mining town. Jerome is so rich in copper that people used to say you could trip over a nugget walking down the street. But when the mines dried up, so did the town. And Jerome became a ghost town where the ghosts probably outnumber the living. But Jerome wasn't about to go quietly. It reinvented itself as an artist haven, attracting a quirky mix of creative souls who found inspiration in the town's crumbling buildings and eerie quiet. Now Jerome is a mix of history, art, and just the right amount of ghost stories to keep it interesting. Jerome is also known for being the place where Billy the Kid actually met Wyatt Earp. At its peak, it was known as the wickedest town in the West due to its boisterous nightlife. It is also said at one point every other built...
Sorry to interrupt. I was talking to Kat today. Now that downstairs is finished, in the sense of they've finished doing all the building work and that, we will hopefully be moving away from this horrible area here and filming in a bit better environment where we can have our stuff back. I
Like
miss Bucky's, I miss my
setup.
flags.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so I can't wait to get all that up. So yeah, I saw some of the old wood and stuff, so I've got some ideas for how it's going to
in
look.
Jerome was a saloon or a brothel or both. Jerome was actually for a while the fourth largest city in
thought we were gonna see
Arizona.
some more
Now
Old
it's got a
West stuff.
population of 450 people.
Only 450. Texas. Was that
Number
Bandera?
9, Bandera, Texas. Bandera, Texas proudly claims the title of Cowboy Capital of the World, a distinction earned
That's
after
nice.
decades of serious hat-wearing, boot-stomping, and lasso-swinging competitions that the cows were less enthusiastic about. Founded in 1853, Bandera started as a small town with a big personality, mostly because it was the only place where people could out-cowboy each other without anyone batting an eyelash. Legend has it that the town's first mayor was an actual tumbleweed that rolled into the office on
Look
a
at
windy
that.
day.
I love that.
I
I love it so much.
So cool, isn't it? Can you imagine like going there for coffee in the morning?
Oh man,
like,
I'd
how
love
cool
it.
would
I
that
love
be,
the
like-
Old West. Like when I was a kid, I used to watch. Leia was asking me the other day, why is it Texas that I really want to go to? And I said, I think it's because I used to watch Walker Texas Ranger with what's his name? Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
Chuck Norris. And ever since I was a little kid, I used to watch that. And Texas has always had a special place in my heart. So that's why I want to go there first. After that, we're free to go wherever you guys want.
This place was big in cowboy culture. It was where the cattle drives used to come through. Bandera sits about an hour northwest of San Antonio, and at the time was a great place to stop and water the cows. They have a nice little river flowing right by town. Looks like it's dry most of the year, but I'm sure back in the day when not, thousands of people were taking water out of the river, it had a little bit more in there. Today, Bandera is a thriving hub of cowboy culture where the horses outnumber the cars, and the local saloons still serve sarsaparilla strong enough to put hair on your horse's chest. Bandera hosts weekly rodeos during the summer and maintains a strong cowboy culture with numerous dude ranches in the area. They have some pretty cool things here, though, like the Frontier Times Museum, the Bandera Natural History Museum, and of course, St. Stanislaus Catholic Church. This church was built in 1876. Bandera has a population of right around 900 residents.
Only.
Colorado.
Number 8, Leadville, Colorado. Leadville, Colorado is a town that seems to have been founded on a bet. One that involved gold, silver, and a whole lot of bad decisions.
Whenever I see those mountains like that, it reminds me of when we go to the airport in Poprat and the car touches out the back. Doesn't it?
Yeah, it does actually. Yeah, it looks very, very similar, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'll see if I can find a photo. I must have some photos of that, and I'll stick it up now if I can find it. If not, I do apologize, but I might find one on Google so you can see.
Mining town that sits about 10,000 feet above sea level. Now, they claim they're the highest city in the United States. Not town, actual city, but the reality is they've got less than 3,000 residents, so that doesn't really qualify as a city. Moving on. In the 1800s, prospectors swarmed this area like mosquitoes at a summer picnic, convinced the mountains were a giant piggy bank filled with precious metals.
So young,
but instead of a piggy bank, they found a lot of trouble and really cold winters. The town does sit 10,119 feet above sea level. Wow. So besides the winter, the altitude played a big part in how rough life was here. A man named William Nye opened the first saloon in 1877, and it was followed by many others. Texas Jack, Buffalo Bill, Broken Nose Scotty, Jesse James, and Tom Horn are all part of Leadville's colorful past. These Wild West ruffians frequented Leadville's notorious red light district. Today, Leadville's history is a mix of boomtown glory and a series of hold my beer moments that somehow led to a lasting legacy in the heart of the Rocky Mountains. At one point, Leadville was the world's largest and richest silver camp. Currently, Leadville has a population of about 2,600 residents.
That's quite a big town for that many people. Wyoming, Jackson.
Number 7, Jackson, Wyoming. Jackson has a history that's as rugged and wild as the landscapes that surround it. Originally inhabited by Native American tribes, this remote area didn't see many settlers until...
Where did we go to the other day? Where did we drive where we went past that log cabin?
We went to Garen's hockey game.
Yeah, and there was a log cabin. I said to Kat, oh yeah, you're right.
They actually it's like a little ranch. They got horses there.
Yeah.
Then they have like a main house and then a little cabins around it. But unfortunately, it's right by the road.
Yeah, the only thing is it's location.
But it's like a little ranch, isn't it? But it's beautiful.
Yeah, that log cabin is like, I said to Kat, that's my dream. All I need there is a lake, and I'm happy. Or a pond.
Late 19th century, when fur trappers and pioneers started trickling in, drawn by the promise of adventure and untouched wilderness. The town Jackson itself was originally established in 1914, and it's named after David Edward Jackson, a mountain man who roamed these parts in the early 1800s, and I imagine didn't shower often. Over time, Jackson evolved from a rough and tumble frontier town into a charming gateway to some of America's most spectacular natural wonders like Grand Tetons and Yellowstone National Park. Today, it's a blend of old school Western vibes and upscale modern living, attracting outdoor enthusiasts, artists, and a whole bunch of celebrities. It's like every celebrity that wants to get away from Hollywood seems to go to Jackson.
Maybe that's the bar, Leia. So you go down really fast and just sit.
Just end up in a bar.
Smash through the doors and sit there.
On the Jackson Town Square are a popular photo spot and kind of a symbol of the town. If you see it, you know it's Jackson. Jackson has a population of about 10,500 residents.
Oh, that's a lot, eh? People.
Arizona again. Bisby.
Number 6, Bisby, Arizona. Bisby's one of the ones that was on that other list we had. I think Jerome was too. Actually, it was. Bisby is a quirky little town with a rich history that dates back to the late 1800s. Originally a very busy mining town, Bisby
I keep saying it, that's still reasonably young, eh? Like when you look at some of the towns around here or in Europe, they're so old. And like 18 and 1914 and stuff, 1880, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
Is Arizona always hot? Like, I know deserts get cold at night.
No, it snows in Arizona as well.
Are you sure?
Yeah, when we were watching that homestead thing.
Babe, we've watched so many of them. I'm hoping you're not...
It snowed there.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it snowed there.
Let me just check.
Yeah, it was like sunny when they were filming and they were saying the cold snap is coming and they had snow. Oh, yeah,
Does it snow
yeah.
in Arizona? Oh, yep, they do. Holy smoke!
See, I told you.
I didn't want you to look silly because we watched so many of those. It could have been anyone. Anyway,
copper, gold, and
so
silver
you were right.
production, attracting people from all over, hoping to strike it rich. At its peak, it was one of the most prosperous cities in the Southwest, complete with saloons, theaters, and even a red light district, and the occasional shootout in the middle of the street. One of those shootouts was known as the Bisby Massacre. A group of outlaws known as the Cochise Cowboys decided to hold up the Goldwater and Castaneda store. 3 of the men went...
Who needs to go to Hollywood? Look. Can I just rewind a bit? I didn't hear what he was saying about the shootout.
Cowboys decided to hold up the Goldwater and Castaneda store. 3 of the men went into the store, 2 stood outside. They forced the shopkeeper to open up the safe, and he realized that they had no money in the safe, so they took some gold and some cash there and some jewelry and decided to leave. Well, while they were trying to leave, some of the citizens started asking what they were doing, and then the local sheriff came out, shooting started, a pregnant woman was shot and killed, a few other people were shot and killed, including one man who was just standing there. They shot him in the head. Well, then another sheriff came out of the saloon as they were hightailing it out of there, started shooting at them, but missed everyone. A posse was gathered, and they went after the Cowboys, and they caught them. So they had a trial, and most of the men were convicted and sentenced to hang. One guy decided he wanted his own trial, and he got it. Well, he was convicted of a lesser charge of manslaughter and sentenced to 2 years in jail. Well, that didn't do it for the locals. The locals busted into the jail, pulled him out, and hung him. Bisby has a population of about 5,200 people. John Wayne actually co-owned the historic Copper Queen Hotel for a while.
And hung him.
Colorado.
Number 5, Silverton, Colorado. Silverton, Colorado is the kind of town that makes you wonder if someone accidentally time traveled into the 1800s, or they just decided at some time in the 1800s, hey, if it works, why fix it? Silverton was a gold and silver mining boom town. The boom might have been generous. Imagine a rowdy crowd of miners whooping it up in the saloon, only to discover that the gold was mostly fool's gold. But hey, at least they were good on the silver part of it. Over the years, the population fluctuated and things changed, and at least they were good on the silver part of it.
Yeah,
there's
that's
you can live next door, like, because actually, if that's a pond there, I'll live there. You can have the wooden one. We'll just switch houses. That looks like a pond there.
It looks actually like pretty cool little town, isn't it?
Where everyone knows everyone. You know, like you used to watch Heartland, where you walk to the coffee shop and everyone knows each other.
Yeah.
Like, you know all the people who work there. You're like, oh, hello, Margaret. Yeah, my usual, please.
Hi,
But over the years, the population fluctuated and things changed, and it was a rough and rowdy place with saloons and brothels and all that. And then the families in 1874 started relocating to Silverton, prompting efforts to maintain respectability within the town. An imaginary line down Green Street symbolized the division between law-abiding citizens and the establishments associated with gambling, prostitution, and entertainment. In May of 1883, a grand jury indicted 117 lewd women on notorious Blair Street. While fines were imposed, gambling and prostitution were somewhat tolerated as long as they remained confined to a certain area. But they tried to really knock down all the sinning, if you will, to make it a more family-friendly town. One interesting thing about this place, the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad, a heritage railway, still operates today, offering scenic tours. Silverton has a population of about 600 residents.
Perfect.
Nice.
Virginia City, Nevada.
Number 4, Virginia City,
say, looks
Nevada.
quite
Virginia
gonna look
City
barren.
is like that
Maybe.
wild cousin who shows up
What
at
is
family
barren?
reunions with the best
they're
stories.
dry.
Back in the 1800s, it was a booming silver town where miners struck it rich, or at least struck something that looked like it might be rich after a few drinks. This place was so
it isn't
packed
as
with
barren
folks
as I thought.
hoping
It was
to...
quite built up, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not as open and flat. I thought it was going to be just flat and big. It's quite weird buildings.
Yeah.
They almost look like boxes
Yeah.
that they're just placed there.
Hit the jackpot that it made Las Vegas look like a quaint retirement community. The streets were filled with
Baseball
saloons,
field.
brothels, and the kind of characters that could probably drink a barrel of whiskey and still be on time for work in the morning. Virginia City, Nevada has a long history of famous cowboys and other celebrities
Straight to road.
associated with men and donkeys, including Badwater Bill and Gravel Gertie. Badwater Bill, whose real name was Arnold Frick, was born in Wisconsin in 1912 and worked as a stuntman in Hollywood before becoming famous. He traveled Nevada with his donkey, Gravel Gertie. Mark Twain was actually a news
I thought it was a
reporter here.
woman's name. Gravel Gertie. I didn't think it was a donkey. That's why I was laughing. I was like, well, that must be such a horrible nickname. Come on, Gravel Gertie. Come in. Like, that's what you think.
His donkey, Gravel Gertie. Mark Twain was actually a news reporter here in the very beginning of his career. Virginia City has a population of 855.
Okay.
Dodge City.
It's probably dodgy.
Number 3, Dodge City, Kansas. Yeah, it sounds like a western town. I mean, all the old movies, someone was going to Dodge City and someone was just
Whoa.
shot in Dodge City. Dodge
I like
City,
that
Kansas
house.
started off
the
as
one
the
here.
kind of place where you'd want to keep one hand on your hat and the other one on your holster. Born out of the Wild West's wildest dreams and nightmares in some cases, it was a town where cattle outnumbered people
Cool
and
sound.
the only thing quicker than a cowboy's draw was
that
the
real?
speed in
I
which
think so.
rumors
You know, like when you
spread.
when you drive into Lescova, it says
yeah.
Lescova, like where we live. That's when you drive into Dodge City. That I think, I don't know, it looks the same.
Yeah.
Like,
People,
welcome
and the
to-
only thing quicker than a cowboy's draw was the
there's
speed in which
something
rumors
like
spread. Dodge City became the ultimate proving ground for gunslingers, gamblers, and anyone who could tolerate the aroma of cattle, or as the locals called it, the sweet scent of economic prosperity. The town's lawmen had their work cut out for them, often finding themselves in more shootouts than a Hollywood action star. Yet, despite all the ruckus, Dodge City somehow managed to transition from being the
just me,
wildest
yes?
of the Wild West
Not a
towns
lot of
to a place
trees,
where you'd
maybe.
be
Oops,
more
sorry.
likely to find tourists than outlaws, proving that even the roughest towns
like
can
that.
mellow with age. The Wild West Wax Museum showcased
I don't know,
interesting
it's
people
very
from the Wild West time period and information about prominent lawmen. Over the years, Dodge City has been synonymous
look
with
there.
well-known names like Bat
I think those are livestock tanks or ponds.
Masterson,
Oh, really?
Wyatt Earp, and
so.
Doc Holliday. Dodge City still holds on to its Western heritage, and it has a population of about
27,000.
27,000
Big
residents.
town.
I didn't expect that.
Deadwood, South Dakota.
Number 2, Deadwood, South Dakota.
I can
Deadwood
imagine it being
was an
very
insane place to live for a while there. Founded
There you
in
go, Leia.
1876 during the
Take me
Black Hills
there.
Gold Rush, it was a place where everyone went because you knew you were going to strike it rich there. This town was so wild that even Wild Bill Hickok couldn't resist pulling up a chair at a poker game here. In a tragic twist, this is the last chair he sat in. Yeah, apparently Wild Bill had angered someone at some point, and he angered a lot of people over his life because he was a lawman, but he always sat with his back against a wall wherever he was, like in a saloon, playing poker, whatever. Well, there was only one seat open, and he took it, and some guy that he'd pissed off came and shot him in the back. And that's how we got the name Dead Man's Hand in poker. It's varied over the years, but a dead man's hand is black aces and black eights, so 2 pair. This is the hand that was reportedly held by Wild Bill Hickok
That's
when he was
lovely.
murdered while playing poker in Deadwood, South
It
Dakota.
looks-
Deadwood was home
It looks very, like if you look at all these little shops, it looks very touristy.
Yeah.
But take that away, just the architecture,
Yeah.
that's lovely, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like beautiful. It's like a beautiful
Little-
village,
Yeah.
like a little shopping parade.
Again, where everyone
Yeah.
knows each other.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's like
to
that.
more saloons than you could shake your
Oh,
6-shooter
that's
at. And if you didn't have a hangover, a bullet wound, or both, Were you even really there? This is a town that built a reputation for gambling, gunfighting, and good old-fashioned lawlessness. These days, you're more likely to be dazzled by its historic charm and reenacted shootouts. But all at the same time, Wild Bill Hickok, Calamity Jane, and Seth Bullock lived in Deadwood. Interesting thing, Seth Bullock, who was played by Timothy Olyphant in the Deadwood series, later in life, he actually met President Roosevelt and became lifelong friends, and he was instrumental in getting Yellowstone to become a national park. There's old stories that Wyatt Earp and Seth Bullock had a run-in or something like that, but everything I've read is that's just BS, because Wyatt Earp was living in Tombstone at the time. Anyway, these days, Deadwood has about 1,300 residents.
Where's number one going to be?
All right, before we get to number one, the question of the day.
Texas.
Wherever you live, is there a town that has a German or European theme to it? Where is it at and what's it called? Let us know in the comment section
European
below.
theme.
All right, on to number one.
Arizona.
I was correct.
And number one, Tombstone, Arizona. Tombstone is like the Wild West version of Las Vegas. What happens there stays there. Except with more gunfights and fewer showgirls. This dusty little town was the OK Corral's home, where folks settled arguments with six-shooters rather than Yelp reviews.
Do you know, sorry Lenny, those guns that they used to shoot with in the Old West were very inaccurate.
Really?
I was watching something the other day. They like chances of them hitting was from a distance. So they'd have to be quite close up.
Maybe that's why in a Western movie, like they were just shooting and they never like,
you know, with all the ricochets. But it's because the barrel didn't have. I think it's called barreling, like where there's like a spiral where they machine the barrel. But in the old days it was just a pipe. So the bullet was something. I explained that terribly. What were you gonna say?
I expected more towns that had like those seed, like that grass ball.
Tumbleweeds. Someone said on the live that where we've knocked down our wall in the living room, we should put old like west swinging bar doors, like saloon doors, and I think that's a great idea. That's just where we're gonna find him in Slovakia.
You'll make them.
Oh, jeez, don't.
By a guy who thought he'd struck it rich with
Okay.
but instead hit the jackpot with tourism. Tombstone quickly became a hotbed for outlaws, lawmen, and really questionable life choices. This place is so wild, they actually call it Tombstone. Come on. The old saying was Tombstone, because if you're not careful, you might end up under one. Tombstone was founded in 1879 by Ed...
Not anymore. It's like, that's like a very historic town.
This place is so wild, they actually call it Tombstone. Come on. The old saying was Tombstone, because if you're not careful, you might end up under one. Tombstone was founded in 1879 by Ed Sheepfield, who discovered silver in the area. The historic sites in Tombstone are pretty impressive. Obviously, the OK Corral, Boot Hill Graveyard, and the Birdcage Theater.
Look at
these days, Tombstone
look at the people how they're sitting. Do you think they still dress like that, or is that just for show? Sorry if you can hear a phone. That's layers.
A population of about 1,300 residents.
I want to go to Tombstone. I really want to go there one day.
Me too. I did say at the beginning of the video, I really want to go to Arizona. I start liking Arizona, even though they have probably rattlesnakes there.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not too keen.
But the nice thing with the rattlesnake is you'll hear it before it bites.
You can eat it.
Well, yeah.
You'd see me looking around all the time with a huge bullet vest on. I'm so
bullet vest.
What's it called?
Bulletproof vest. We'll get you 2 6-shooters so you can walk around.
Yeah,
I reckon this town ain't big enough for the both
Sunday,
of us.
I don't know. This reminded me. I meant to go to London with my class.
Yeah, Leia's got a class trip to London. She's still not sure if she's going to go.
I don't know, because the murders in there are kind of freaking me out.
Yeah, but I'll be trying to persuade her to go.
Like, I'd love to go back to my home country. Like, I'm thinking about meeting up with some people if the teachers let me.
I don't think they'll let you on a school trip meet up with some people.
You never know.
We'll see. Yeah. We're waffling again.
Yeah.
We're waffling.
Actually, no, my favourite teacher's taking off. She'll let me.
Oh, they're on. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. We hope you have a fantastic rest of your evening. Like Kat says, we'll more than likely go live on Saturday night. So what I'll do is I might schedule it tomorrow or the next day if we know for sure. We'll see what Garen wants to do because it needs to be all 4 of us deciding. Yeah. And then hopefully we can have a chat with you guys then. Hey.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you have a fantastic evening and we will see you in
next video.
Bye.